Hi. As I make this, it's Friday the 14th of August in the UK. I guess this is one of the very hottest days. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. I haven't been out at all. I've cancelled all my plans. All I've done is go out to the washing line and go into the front garden, the yard briefly, to top up the seagull water. It's it's hard for me to know whether it's the heat, stress, tiredness from work, ill, who knows, but feeling all day in a kind of funk. So I was thinking, well, what can I do to switch this? So I did some collage. You can see behind me I collaged two elephant masks. That's for our next event. And I did two butterflies as well. So, and that did feel really good. And now I'm going to sit down and make a video with a relaxation, grounding, meditation. I don't know what it's going to be about. I'm just going to do it off the top of my head. And just as a way of regulating together, I suppose. And that I think it's good to do things even if you don't feel like it. And it's good to try different things to move yourself from one state to another. So, let's begin. So just find a comfortable position. Lay down or sit down. If you wish to, you can gently close your eyes. Or if you prefer not to, pick something to look at. And that can just be something obviously in your own surroundings. I think I'm going to get disturbed by the cat. Here he is. Hello. All the collage and glue is in the way. I'm going to move that so it doesn't get glue on him. There we go. Safe and sound. Those who like cats, meet Billy. So one of the many things I was thinking about doing in this video are things to be grateful for, and cats is one of them. He doesn't really like being picked up, as you might be able to tell. However, he does like a good head scratch, a brush and a fuss, and food, as you might be able to tell. He eats around the neighbours a lot, unfortunately. So where was I? We gently close our eyes if we want to. Or let our gaze go soft. Everything I say is just an invitation rather than an instruction. Everybody has different preferences. If people dislike focusing on breathing, ignore those bits. If you dislike focusing on the centre of your body or your body at all, ignore those bits. And just keep going with an alternative. It's perfectly fine just to pick one aspect from a meditation and just focus on that and let the rest of the words just go by. I feel like the most important thing is having the space and time dedicated to relaxation. We begin by listening to the sounds that we can hear outside of the room. In my case, as you may have heard a moment ago, it's usually seagulls. And then draw our attention into the room that we're in. The sounds that we can hear inside this room. And I'm going to firstly talk about some qualities that we may or may not choose to take with us into this meditation. One of them is gratitude, and that can be for concrete things, homes, cars, people and pets. It can be for qualities and moments, and for me, I often find it helpful to think of something really specific, a really specific moment of care or bolstering up, tenderness, or a shared experience that I've had with somebody that they've given me. I find something detailed is easier for me to focus on. And of course, not forgetting oneself, focusing on a quality in yourself that you're grateful for, that you have. It can be something really small and specific. In fact, I would say the smaller and more specific, the better. In terms of concentration and attention, and in terms of reminding ourselves that the small things are the big things. They're the building blocks of our life and the scaffolding. And another quality is hope. And I know that can be really, really difficult. And it can be really difficult when you're feeling tired and depleted as well. But again, something very small, very specific, maybe an action that turns us towards feeling hopeful or feeling like there's something that we can do. And for me, I put water out for the seagull all the time. That's kind of more of a pet relationship, though it's not really like that. But he does come and he squawks if he wants the water freshening up and things like that. And if we move it because it's bin day, he does squawk. So it's more like I'm bonded and care a great deal about that seagull. But yes, that is kind of along those lines. And another thing that I've really felt is doing something for the butterflies. So putting out some water, and for the bugs and the snails, putting out water. And then in the evening sometimes, or the early mornings, not so much in the blistering heat wave. Maybe they come out more at night. I've seen snails all around a dish of water that I've put out, like water buffalo around a watering hole. And it's like, wow, I had an effect and I did something, and it was something so small. And I kind of say sometimes as a joke, but I don't really mean it as a joke, is that the only real response to the apocalypse, in whatever way you perceive that, is to plant a buddleia. And seeing a buddleia come out with flowers and seeing butterflies land on it, brings me so much joy, and it's impossible to argue against in terms of, was that worth doing? Was that a good action? So many things come with downsides. I did some collage today for a community thing, but I did use glue, so creating more waste, bloody blah, bloody blah. Plant a buddleia, put some water out. As long as you put a raft out so that little things can get out easily, like a twig or clothes peg or shell, something bit of wood, something that I use the edges of, like, without the metal, but like broken clothes pegs, so that if anything small gets in, they can climb out. But yes, can't argue with it. And for me, doing some small action helps me to maintain some hope in the world, where sometimes I can find that really, really difficult. Gratitude, hope. And then the other thing, the last quality I thought today, just as I was beginning to talk, was surrender. And that's, surrender to the day, surrender to the fact it's too hot to do anything or go out, surrender to the fact that perhaps you just don't feel like going out, surrender to the fact that you're sad or stressed or ill, or surrender to the fact that you're not going to be just bombing through your to-do list and getting everything done and being on full power like you normally are. Maybe there's something different in just this pause and doing something completely different. And now we'll take this time together. If we wish to focus on the bed or chair supporting us, contact points, perhaps our ankles or our feet on the ground or crossing, our hands resting maybe in our lap or on the arms of the chair. We may like to focus on the centre of our body, or we may prefer to just keep our attention on our peripheries, our hands and feet. It can be often a more comfortable place to focus if you don't like to be in the body too much. Or instead just listen to sounds or think about the quality or qualities that we're bringing into our emotional state, our mental state, our intention for today. If we would like to, we can focus a little on our breath. We're not going to do anything in terms of counting or changing it. We're just going to notice our own natural rhythm of our breathing and just focus on that if it's comfortable to do so. And if it's not, we just flit off like a butterfly, moving from flower to flower onto something that's more comfortable. And again, we can always change things as we go along. If we feel weird or uncomfortable, we can open our eyes and look at something. We can ground ourselves, listening to the sounds that we can hear around us, looking at things in our surroundings, holding an object, having a sip of water, a drink, or something to eat. There's always options, and we're always in control. And even if we aren't, that moment will pass. That state will pass. I'm going to refocus again on the qualities, on what came to mind when I spoke about gratitude. Things, people, pets, places, ideas, habits, routines. Just allow those ideas to spring up like flowers opening, and our attention choosing to alight on whichever one we wish for however long we wish. And basking in that quality, the way a butterfly basks in the sun, opening and closing their wings. And if you've brought up to mind a quality that's from yourself, and I do hope that you have, and please pay special attention to this, and thanking oneself, even if, especially if, it's for showing up and taking this time today. Focusing now on the quality of hope, a small action or something that we can say or do or remember to put us in touch with hope, even if it's just a tiny, tiny flower in a sea of concrete. And just remember and remind ourselves that this is there, and that with a little bit of attention and time, we can perhaps grow that flower or help the plant to spread. These sweet qualities, I feel, are really connected in terms of how they feel in the body and how they feel in my energy field. If I had to say a colour, I'd say green and pink. Yellow. That feeling of recharging. Like recharging from the sun. But this is recharging from us choosing actively to turn towards some qualities and some thoughts that are going to lift us a little bit. And allowing ourselves the space to do so. And even if none of this lands, and even if things are difficult, we're here taking the time we're safe in this moment. We're surrendering in the way that we understand that bad moods and difficulties come like clouds across the sky, but that later, soon, in a few minutes or a few hours or tomorrow, things will change. It's surrendering in the way that we're not fighting. We're not telling ourselves off for feeling the way we do. We're just being gentle with ourselves, accepting how we are right now, and turning just a little bit towards those qualities that are going to help us on our way. Gratitude and hope. And that even within all the overwhelm that there is, and all the things that we might read and see that make us feel hopeless, there are things that we can do. And I focused a lot on the small things that I do for, like, my seagull, obviously not my seagull, the snails, the butterflies, nature, and then just remembering that we're part of nature too, and that kindly quality that we can bring for others and nature and creatures, let's bring to ourselves as well. So I'd like us to end by just thinking of one small, nice thing we can do for ourselves after this. Make a really nice cup of tea, have a snack, put on the new Charlie XCX album and dance. Maybe see if it's cool enough to go out for a short walk, in my case. Or just smile and be proud that we've done this today. We took a little time to breathe, to rest, and to cultivate kindness to ourselves and to the world, and ourselves as part of the world. And now just listen to the sounds that you can hear inside the room. And the sounds that you can hear outside of the room. Becoming aware of whatever it is that you're sitting or lying on. Becoming reconnected with your sense of physical groundedness and within your surroundings. If you've closed your eyes, think about getting ready to open them and take in the surroundings of your room again. and just being gentle as we kind of come to. For me, I can kind of feel that my energy field was, I don't know, activated, or that I tuned into it, or that it changed, or perhaps it didn't change and I just changed. So I feel like I've had a relaxation and I feel like I've reset, and I really hope that you do as well. So have a really good rest of your day, evening, night, and I'll see you next time.